All right, on our math lesson day, we are going to solve unknown start problems. So we're going to have math problems with an unknown number at the beginning of our story problem, and we're going to solve each problem and we're going to label our answer. On number one, we have add to unknown start. And what we're doing is we're going to find the situation equation, and then we are going to find the solution equation. And all the situation equation is, we're just going to write out the equation as it reads out in our story. And then down on the solution equation, the solution, we are just going to see how we can figure that out. And how we do that is, let's read our number one on our story problem. It says, Greta puts some beads on a string. Then she puts on 70 more beads. Now there are 130 beads on the string. How many beads did she put on the string to start? Well, like all of our other words problems, we need to go and find our information. It says Greta puts some beads on a string, so we need to circle this part. And we are also going to circle on 70 more beads. And we also have, now there are 130 beads on the string. And let's underline our question. How many beads did she put on the string to start? So our situation equation, we're going to go back in our problem and we're just going to write what we have. It says Greta put some beads on a string. So we can put a variable, or you can put a box. And it says then she put 70 more beads. So where it says she put 70 more beads, are we going to add or subtract that? We're going to have to add that. I'm going to change my variable to bead, just because we're talking about beads. So we're going to add 70 more, and it says now there are 130 beads. So we know that this is going to equal 130. This is our situation equation right now. We have some number, what we started with. Greta started with some beads. She added 70 more. Now we have a total of 130 beads. So at this point, we're going to go back and we're going to solve for the situation equation. We're going to say, well, what plus 70 equals 130? We're going to have to do the reverse of this. We're going to take our 130, and we are going to have to see what the difference is between 130 and 70 to get our answer. This is our solution equation. This is what we're going to write to figure this out. So we have 130 subtract 70 equals what? If we were to do this on a math mountain, like what we learned a couple of days ago, it says now we have 130, we had 70 more. What did we start with? So we have B for beads, B plus 70 equals 130. We have the start, the more, and the now. If we go on our solution equation, what we just figured out, 70 plus what equals 130, our solution equation is going to be 130 subtract 70 equals what? So over here, we're going to write our equation, 130 subtract 70. So let's take a look at this. 0 subtract 0 is 0. 3 subtract 7. Can we do that? No. So we need to go and ungroup the hundreds. I'm going to take one of my hundreds and put it with my 3, which makes it 13. And we have 0 hundreds left, and 13 subtract 7 is 6. So right now we have 60, and 130 subtract 70 is 60. And when we add 70 plus 60, it should equal 130. We can go back and we can add this if we want. We can go 70 plus 60, and it should equal our total. 0 plus 0 is 0. 7 plus 6 is 13. So we have the correct answer. So we're going to put, we have 60 beads. And if we were doing this on the math mountain, we would put We had 60 beads to start with, added 70 more. Now we have 130. Okay, problem 2. This is take from unknown start. This is kind of like the first one, but when we do it, I want you to see how this one's a little bit different. It says Greta put some beads on a string. Then 70 of the beads fall off the string. There are 60 beads still on the string. How many beads were there at first? So let's go back, find our information. And she put some beads on the string. And it says 70 of the beads fell, oh, that's an important word, off of the string. There are 60 beads still on the string. How many beads were there at first? So if we go back and look at this, our situation equation, it says Greta put some beads on a string. So once again, we can put a box or we can put a variable, and then we can say what, and then 70 of the beads fell off the string. So are we getting more or are we getting less? We're actually getting less, so we're going to have to subtract this. So we have how many beads fell off, which was 70 of the string, and how many beads do we have left? We have 60 beads left over. This is our situation equation. We have how many beads subtract 70 beads equals 60 beads. So the solution to figure this out, we're going to have to do the opposite. We're going to have to say, take our 60 beads, we have 60 beads we have 60 beads left, and then we're going to add 70 beads with that and see what that equals. So 60 plus 70, that is how many beads we started with. How many beads were there at first? So if we were doing this on the Math Mountains, it would look like this. We have 70 beads, we have 60 beads, and it's going to give us how many we started with. Our situation equation, what we just did, what subtract 70 equals 60. In our solution equation, we have to go 60 plus 70 equals what? So let's figure that out. So we're going to go 60 plus 70 and add that up. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 7 is 13. And this is our equation. We have 130 beads. Don't forget to put your unit beads. And if we wanted to go back, we could, and check this, we could go back and say 130 subtract 70 equals 60. And since we did that up here, we know that 130 subtract 70 equals 60. And on our Math Mountains, we can put 70 and 60, our add-ins, and we get our total of 130. And our solution equation, 60 plus 70, is 130. All right, on number 3, we have add to unknown star. So we have a number that we don't know what it is at the beginning of our word problem. So let's read and see what it says. It says, Patrick was carrying some booklets. His teacher asked him to carry 30 more booklets. Now he has 110 booklets. How many booklets did he start with? So if we go back and read this and find our information, let's see what it says. Patrick was carrying some booklets. Let's circle that. So he's carrying some booklets. Do we know how many? No. And that's probably what we're going to figure out. His teacher asked him to carry 30 more booklets. So we have that important word right there, more. Now he has 110 booklets. And how many booklets did he start with? So if we're looking at our situation equation, we have Patrick was carrying some booklets. Do we know how many? No. So we're going to, you can either put a box, you can put a variable if you want. You could put A, B, C, D, whatever letter you want. I think I'm going to put B just because we're using booklets. And am I going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide that? Well, it says his teacher asked him to carry 30 more booklets. So we're going to have to add 30 more booklets. And how many do we have left? We have 110 booklets. That is our situation equation. What I need everyone to do is pause the video right now, and I want you to figure out what the solution equation is. All right, on the solution equation, you should have taken your b plus 30 equals 110. We're going to take 110, because that's our total, and we're going to subtract 30, and it's going to tell us what our answer is. So if we go over here and put 110, subtract 30, let's see what that equals. 0 subtract 0 is 0. 1 subtract 3. Can we do that? No, we have to ungroup hundreds. I'm going to take one of my hundreds, which we have 0 hundreds left, and put 100 over here with my 10. And 100 plus my 10 is 110. And we're going to subtract the 11th from 3, which is 8. And our answer should be 80. And hopefully you put your unit. We have 80 booklets. And if we had that on if we were using a Math Mountain, it would look like this. We don't know what we started with, but we added 30 more, and now we have 110. So what plus 30 is 110? Our situation equation, our solution. 30 plus what is 110? Or 110 subtract 30 is what? Well, 110 subtract 30 is 80. 80 plus 30 more is 110. And that is your answer. We have 80 booklets. All right, let's take a look at our very last problem. Number 4, it says take from unknown start. Let's read what it says. It says Patricia was carrying some pencils. Her friend took 30 of them. Patricia has 80 pencils left. How many pencils was she carrying at first? So let's go and see what our information is. Patricia was carrying some pencils. So let's circle that. It says her friend took 30 of them. And Patricia has 80 pencils left. How many pencils was she carrying at first? This is what I want everybody to do. I want you to find the situation equation, write what that is, and then find the solution equation. So everybody right now, I need you to pause the video, and when you think you figured both of those out, unpause it, and we'll check to see if you're correct. All right, on this, our situation equation says Patricia was carrying some pencils. Well, you can put a box, you can put a variable. I think I'm going to put a P for pencil, because we don't know how many she is carrying. That's what we're trying to find out, because it's an unknown start. Her friend took 30 of them. Well, is she getting more pencils? No, so we're getting less, so we have to subtract this. I'm going to subtract 30, and it says Patricia has 80 pencils left. So that's what this equals right now, is 80. Here is our situation equation. How are we going to figure this out? Well, we're going to put how many pencils did she end up with? She had 80 pencils left when her friends took 30. So we have to add the 30 to the 80 for our solution equation and see what it equals. We're going to write this over here, 80 plus 30. And 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 3 is 11. And everyone should have got 110 for their answers of how many pencils was she carrying at first. She was carrying 110 pencils. And if you wanted to check that, you could take your total, 110, and you could subtract this from how many your friends took was 30, and it would equal 80. If this was a math mountain, it would look something like this. It would have 30 and the 80, and how many did she start with? 110. And 80 plus 30 is 110. So that is the situation equation and the solution equation. All that is what is our problem telling us? That's how we write it out. And how do we figure that out is the solution equation. That's it for this lesson. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.